how to do that. I couldn't. I literally am incapable of being in the real world and surviving. Wow. I mean,
Hey, she's honest about that, Andy.
How did that?
But you know what? She actually realizes it because most celebrities who are in her position don't even understand that.
You need a slap at the people that buy her.
Well, absolutely, but at least she's admitting it. Most of the other people would never admit it. Like, oh, of course, if I lost everything, I could live a normal life.
But
no, you couldn't.
Incapable of being in the real world and surviving. I mean, how detached from reality does that sound?
Look at her life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you ever think she would?
Well, she also had that breakup. Wasn't there like some Australian billionaire that she was engaged to, and that whole thing went to hell in a handbasket?
And all of this is on TV. She has a reality show, and all this stuff plays out.
Everybody loves a train wreck.
Incapable of surviving in the real world. I mean, that reeks of weakness beyond belief. You know, how many of these Hollywood celebrities or these music artists, I mean, how many really can't function on their own? I mean, how does that happen? How do you drift so far away from just life in general? That's pathetic.
Well, you got a lot of money, a lot of people doing whatever you want. You get what you want.
That's just sad. All right, Jeff.
Here we go.
I want to hear your story. And by the way, Jeff's got news coming up. Why?
Yes, he does. Yeah, this is great. Why don't we just save it for when you're supposed to be doing this at the bottom of the hour? You can stick to the schedule a little bit.
I want to hear your story. What was the story? It better be good.
Just give it now. Come
A federal
on.
judge says women in Colorado.
Wait a minute. This is a federal judge.
A federal judge in Fort Collins, Colorado, can go topless.
By the way, Fort Collins, Colorado.
This is significant because this is the home of Colorado State University.
Well, it's also the home of WWV, broadcasting on 2.5, 5, 10, 15, and 20 megahertz.
All right, thanks for taking it.
If you want to say affiliate. No, that's the time of the shortwave time station.
Oh, this is just great what you're doing here.
So women can go topless in Colorado, right?
Yeah, Colorado State University. The judge says a ban discriminated against women because, quote, it perpetuates a stereotype ingrained in our society that says female breasts are primarily objects of sexual desire, whereas male breasts are not.
Well,
He doesn't distinguish between male and female breasts. I think perhaps he should. I think perhaps most of the United States of America does distinguish
well, we have
between...
that in New York. You can. Well, I was just going to say, let's apply that locally. Remember, the ruling came out back in the 90s.
Which applies mostly to Times Square when it comes to New York.
No, you can go anywhere you want. I think it was the mid-90s that
Well, it
it was...
means you can go topless.
And women can too. But it was clarified and delineated like in 1995 or 96, right?
Yeah, it's been on the books for a long time.
That women
can go topless.
But there was a big case here in New York City. Yeah. Women can walk around topless.
And the city's police chief in Fort Collins, Colorado, says topless women would lead to distracted driving. But the judge says that is, quote, little more than speculation.
I have some very creepy audio. But
was that worth waiting?
It was, yes. Absolutely. Okay. I have some very creepy audio.
That was really a lot of fun. Thanks.
Very creepy sound, but hopefully this will assist in a very awful story. Next, after the news at 9.
Home of Len Berman and Todd Schnitt in the morning, and the New York Mets. 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
An iHeart radio station.
At 48 degrees at 9 o'clock, good morning, I'm Jeff McKinney. There are protests outside and inside the White House after the decision to rescind a directive on transgender students. The move is not sitting well with some of President Trump's top aides.
The New York Times reports the reversal of the transgender student bathroom directive caused the Trump administration rift. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos saying it was a moral obligation to protect all students. Attorney General Jeff Sessions wanted the Obama civil rights expansions rolled back before pending court cases potentially upheld the federal protections. One scheduled Supreme Court case involves transgender teen Gavin Grimm versus his Virginia school board.
We will not be silent.
With the president's reversal, the high court may not hear Gavin's case now. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
The NYPD defying President Trump's order on illegal immigrants. Police Commissioner James O'Neill sent a memo to officers telling them not to ask about the immigration status of those using city IDs. Meanwhile, wearing an anti-Trump sign can get you thrown out of Lincoln Center.
Jenny Hines tells the New York Times that she went to see a show this month wearing a sign on the back of her jacket that read, "No, in the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America." The Lincoln Center asked her to remove it. She refused, got a refund, and left. She tells the newspaper later at a meeting with the Manhattan Performing Arts Center, she was told signs were not allowed in or on the outside plaza. I'm Scott Pringle for 710 WOR.
An 87-year-old woman has been killed after a fire swept through her apartment on the Upper West Side. The woman was apparently smoking in her Columbus Avenue apartment, causing that fire. A landlord in the Bronx has been arrested for allegedly stabbing his tenant to death.
Zakir Khan was late with his rent. It's believed that's why his landlord, Taha Moran, killed him. Word is Khan had not paid his $1,500 a month rent in 9 months. There was an argument, and Moran stabbed him to death in front of his 12-year-old son. Neighbors tell the New York Post the landlord was very stressed about not getting his rent and surmised he lost it. Just a few days before last night's dispute, Khan was in court answering the charges of aggravated harassment and stalking. Alice Stockton-Rossini, 710 WOR.
A Staten Island mother has been arrested after her 12-year-old blind and epileptic son was left home alone. Police found the boy naked and covered in his own waste. Shocking neighbors.
It really hurt me, like, that someone would do that to a child.
You don't think it would happen next door to you know what I mean? And it's a shame.
The mother, Ashley Bronte, is charged with abandonment of a child. And no one from our area is the lucky winner of the $435 million Powerball jackpot. The only winning ticket was sold in Indiana. The winning numbers, 10, 13, 28, 52, 61, with a Powerball of 2. The news brought to you by OnlineTradingAcademy.com. Now it's on to Chris Abraham, WR Traffic.
Hey, Jeff, inbound lower level of the George Washington Bridge. We have an accident underneath the apartments, about 5 minutes with that. No problems at the upper deck. We've also got a stalled car and an accident 495 eastbound after Kennedy Boulevard. So if you're going to the Lincoln Tunnel, that's a 40-minute wait. 10 to 15 at the Holland. Alternate side parking is in effect today. In New Jersey, a lot of accidents. Route 4 westbound at Bell Avenue in Teaneck, and then further west at Forest Avenue in Paramus. We've also got a crash in Saddlebrook on 80 westbound at exit 61. In Queens on the Jackie Robinson Parkway westbound at exit 6 Metropolitan Avenue. That's a crash. We've also got an accident Wantaw Parkway northbound after W2 in Salisbury. This report brought to you by Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC all-wheel drive. All-season competence, all-road competence. Special offers available this month on a complete lineup of road-gripping coupes, sedans, SUVs, and more. Visit MBUSA.com today. Our next traffic update is coming up in 15 minutes on WOR.
And the forecast coming up.
NJ Diet is taking weight loss and wellness to the next level by utilizing DNA testing. NJ Diet first uses hair, saliva, and bioenergetic scans to customize natural formula to shed a guaranteed 20 to 40 pounds in 40 days. NJ Diet then utilizes DNA testing to determine your ideal diet plan, workouts, eating behaviors, specific needs for essential vitamins, and evaluates key genetic metabolic factors to make sure you keep the weight off and stay healthy. NJ Diet is all natural and doctor supervised. Multiple locations in New Jersey and New York. Call today, 8555-NJ-DIET, or log on to njdiet.com.
Low cloud and fog settling into some spots. Advisories up for some of us. The story really, the temperatures, though, we're going to stay real warm once again today. Not a record, but up to about 65 degrees. Becoming partly cloudy overnight tonight. You may see some scattered showers and thunder showers early this evening, then 53. Cloud sun tomorrow, 65. Currently 48 at WOR.
As the sports scores in college basketball, Rutgers fell to Michigan 68-64. Seton Hall knocked off Xavier 71-64. UConn losing to Houston 75-70. Syracuse upsetting Duke 78-75. Fordham defeated Duquesne 70-52. And Ryder beat Manhattan 93-82. I'm Jeff McKinney, 710 WOR, an NBC News radio station at 9:05.
Another edition of Morons in the News this morning at 9:25.
Live from iHeartRadio Studio 3B in Tribeca. This is Len Berman and Todd Schmidt in the morning on 710 WOR.
That landlord story in the Bronx, I'm thinking the landlord now qualifies for that 100 worst landlords in the city list. Even though those landlord lists contain pretty much, the multi-billionaire, billionaire folks that have, hundreds of units and dozens of buildings and, hundreds of millions. But I'm thinking that landlord that killed the tenant, to me, that puts you squarely on the worst landlord list.
He was angry. Wanted his rent.
Unbelievable. All right, 9:06. It's Len Berman and Todd Schmidt in the morning. Len has a couple of days off, so Joe Bartlett's filling in. That's why McKinney is doing news. Big three stories for us today. Just angry, ticked off constituents nationwide going after their elected representatives and senators at various town halls around the country. Now, are some organic, real, angry voters and constituents? Yes. Are there paid protesters? Without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that there are organized paid protesters, or maybe not paid, but organized. Just essentially, it's venting and it's anger against Trump by liberals. So it absolutely exists. Rounding out the big three, we have the transgender bathroom rollback from the Trump administration, which essentially was on hold anyway. The Obama administration rolled it out, but a federal judge essentially put it on hold. You have 13 states or so that are suing over that. And then rounding out the big three, the NYPD will continue to ignore the Trump immigration directives, which I love it. I love when law enforcement defies the law. Isn't that great? Let's just selectively enforce. I've got a big problem with this, Joe.
I don't. You know.
Well, shocker there. Hang on a minute. Let me hit my shock sound effects. Oh! I'm shocked.
But Todd, it would really mess up the situation when you have New York City police officers. Actually, put it this way: you have small children, young people walking to school every day, and if they do anything wrong and are stopped by a police officer, they happen to be illegal, they're going to get deported.
You're either a country of laws or you're not. We're a sovereign nation. We have borders. We have laws. Other countries have stringent and strict immigration laws, but we're the ones that are chastised. It's a double standard beyond belief.
We also have a law that requires cities to educate these illegal immigrants.
You know, it's so angering to me how de Blasio, the mayor of New York, NYPD corrections here in the city, how they wouldn't cooperate with the feds with this Esteban Rafael Marquez Velasquez. And we told you the story about this guy yesterday. An admitted gang member, admitted he was part of MS-13, a nasty, dangerous gang of L.A. origin, mostly Hondurans, Guatemalans, Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. Yeah, mostly those nationals that are in MS-13. This guy admits it, and the city says, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with this guy. Or turn him over to the feds. You know, the New York Post did a whole piece on this guy yesterday. Online, even after our morning show yesterday, by his own admission. Look at this. This man, by his own admission, is a member of a violent street gang and was released back into the community. That's Thomas Decker, Field Office Director for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Unit here in New York, honoring a detainer request. It's not about politics. It's about keeping New York citizens safe.
And I think that's what O'Neill is saying. He said we're going to concentrate on public safety. What's important for public safety? And arresting...
They let this guy go.
Okay.
They wouldn't cooperate. So luckily, luckily this guy was released, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. Luckily, ICE was able to scoop him up the same day he was released.
That guy
when New York City did not want to cooperate.
A 16-year-old kid who's here illegally gets caught shoplifting. The police are called. He is charged. Should he be deported?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're here illegally, abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh, so that's the first one.
If you're here illegally, you should be, even if you do nothing, even if you're a nun and you're here illegally, you should have to go.
What if you've been a solid citizen for 10, 15 years? You've gone through school. You graduated college.
Hey, let me give you a towel. Your bleeding heart is leaking all over your shirt.
You want everyone. I mean, any aspect of illegality.
No, you either have laws or you don't have laws.
I mean, Todd,
I know it's impractical. I know we're not going to deport 11.
You know what it's going to do to the feeling out there. People who are illegal, who are solid citizens, are going to clam up.
Solid citizens who are illegal. See, that's an oxymoron to begin with, Joe. I'm moving on. Okay, I'm moving on, but I'm still just livid. The detainer. Listen, the detainer request.
I agree with you on this one.
I mean, how does the NYPD let this, and for them to say, oh, yeah, this didn't even meet constitutional muster to turn this guy over. I mean, he already has a record.
Yeah, he should go.
Second-degree reckless endangerment, fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, disorderly conduct. This 19-year-old Salvadoran has a criminal record, admitted gang member MS-13, but his convictions were not enough to meet the threshold of that list. That remember, de Blasio was holding the list of 170 offenses that they thought were important enough to then notify the feds. Give me a break. The detainee was released after he pled guilty and served his time for an offense that does not qualify as a violent or serious felony under the city's local laws. And his gang affiliation was not supported by evidence that meets even the minimal constitutional standards. That was City Hall spokesperson Rosemary Beglin. So, wait a minute. Doesn't mean... What is she saying? That his gang affiliation was not supported by evidence? He admitted it. He said he's a member of MS-13. Why are they looking for an excuse to give a gang member a bad dude cover? What is this sickness? What is this mentality?
Throw him out. Just, want to join me, Todd? Throw him out. Throw him out. Throw him out.
Throw him out.
Throw him out.
Stanley, jump in and join us here.
Throw him out.
Get the control of everyone.
Throw him out. Throw him out. Throw him out.
Do I get paid now?
Hey, yeah.
Thank you.
Stevie, I'll give you $5.
Okay, thanks.
Unbelievable. This guy's got his head screwed on straight. State Senator Martin Golden.
Marty Golden's a good guy.
Republican Brooklyn. There you go. He's got his head screwed on correctly. He was amazed that an admitted gang member wasn't turned over to federal authorities. When ICE has a detainer on an illegal immigrant with a criminal record, they should be turned over to the federal government, no questions asked, said Marty Golden. The lowlives who are committing crimes, get them out of here. Amen, Marty. Hey, Marty, can you fill in for Lynn when he's out? Come on in, Marty.
I like Marty Golden. He's a good guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he's a good guy.
Yeah. I agree with him. I agree with you, Todd.
Good for Marty. Marty's got it absolutely right. Hey, Natalie said that this audio has freaked her out as well.
Yeah, I know.
Natalie said that this story and has been haunting her like all night. This is Indiana, and this is not the Powerball. You know, the Powerball winner for the $435 million jackpot was Indiana. This is a much sadder story. You had two teenagers, 14 years old and...
13, I believe.
13. 14 and 13. They went out for a hike. February 13th, they didn't come back from the hike.
And we're talking a small town they're from.
Yeah, this is a small town in Indiana.
I think about 3,000 people in the town.
Delphi, Indiana. Small place. Rural, small. Girls go out for a hike, they don't come back. February 13th. Then they organize a search party. The next day, they find the girls' bodies in the woods. About 3/4 of a mile from this railroad trestle, a railroad bridge which is not used anymore. It's abandoned. That's where they were dropped off to go hiking.
And actually had pictures on social media of them walking on the bridge, probably shortly before.
Yep. Turns out that one of the girls was just brilliant, and that in her last minutes of life, whoever killed these two girls, the girl was able to take a picture. So there's a picture of the suspected killer, as well as audio. So what are these victims? What are these teenage girls? Hit record on her video camera on her cell phone and was able to capture a voice. So they have an image. And even though the image is blurry, you know how if you're a friend or a relative,
You notice such a person
just
shades a
the
little.
outline,
Yep.
just you don't need to see details.
Right.
You know who it is. So somebody has got to know who this suspect is, who they believe killed these two girls.
Voice, too.
But listen to the audio.
Creepy.
This girl rolled video on her camera phone and captured this audio. Down the hill, that should bust the case between the photograph and then the voice. Somebody's got to know who this sicko is that killed these girls. I mean, it's a horror. It's just a nightmare of a story.
I mean, I've been following the story, and now I'm thinking, you know, they were saying maybe this guy was just on the trail. This is such a small town. If he lived there, somebody would know him. Now I'm thinking maybe they made contact with someone online and thought it was going to be someone, maybe Bob was going to be teenage boy meeting them there, and this guy showed up. I mean, it could be that. But hopefully this voice will trigger something in someone.
This is Captain David Burston. He's with the Indiana State Police, and he's saying exactly what it is.
We think that there's enough there that somebody would recognize the voice, and we want that person to call us.
No doubt about it. The voice down the hill, and then the image. They got to be able to break this case pretty soon. I hope they do. What a sad, sad story. 14 and 13, lives over. Awful. Hey, when we get back, morons in the news. What a great pile today. Morons in the news next on 710 WOR. Glenn Berman and Todd Schmidt in the morning. The My Pillow is your key to sleep success. You want to know how to get a good night's sleep? I'm going to tell you right now. It's as easy as ordering a My Pillow. My The inventor, I brought it up. The inventor My Pillow, he has a patent on the fill. Because the fill, it's like, it's genius. The fill is, the inside of the pillow is what rests it. You put your head back in the position you want, mold everything, and it stays there. The problem with regular pillows is once you find that sweet spot, then you're struggling and juggling and you're trying to get that sweet spot. The My Pillow keeps your sweet spot. Folks, now is the time to get a My Pillow. I got 4 packs of My Pillows. 40%.